Call here. I know I said I was going to upload some more uploaded recorded videos I recorded during my TNN experience. I still plan on doing that. I haven't had the time the weekend to upload them, but I still will upload them. I have a lot of videos I've recorded that I will upload today and throughout the week. So please stay tuned and look forward to those. Two things I want to talk about here. One, Dolph Ziggler's his losing streak and how it doesn't really make any sense to me. And then the second topic is, does Ryback need a title belt? So I'll start with Dolph Ziggler because that's the most important. Dolph Ziggler is a Money in the Bank briefcase winner. He's had it since July, okay, and he has it until July of this year to cash it in. Now, one thing I can say, I do like the fact that what they've done with Dolph Ziggler than any other Money in the Bank winner, they have had him to hold on to the briefcase longer than anybody instead of just cash it in immediately right away. By him prolonging his cash in, it gives enough time for you to build Dolph Ziggler and build that mid-card star and get him ready before he cashes his chips in. However, that's not been the case over the last 2 months of 2013. Dolph Ziggler has been jobbing to just about everybody. He's lost every single freaking match you can possibly think of. I noted this past Friday he beat Kane, but whoop-de-doo. One match out of like 30 that he's lost in the past 2.5 months. Who cares? None is void. Doesn't matter. Another YouTuber of mine who I chat with a bit, Buff and stuff, we had the same conversation where it's like, I told him, it's like, when you have a Money in the Bank winner, you have to keep that person hot. The purpose, the whole gimmick to Money in the Bank is basically it's a cheap shot, a quick way to take a superstar and catapult them into the main event / make them world champions and into the main event picture. That's the whole point of it, instead of building them the old-fashioned way and spending years in development and, tweaking their character. It's just a quick jump start to put somebody up on top. And it's just like, to me, from a fan's perspective, if you have somebody that's a Money in the Bank winner, you say, okay, this is the Money in the Bank winner. He's going to cash his in. He's going to be a future world champion eventually. He's going to be a world champion as soon as he catches his in. If you have your briefcase holder lose multiple matches, lose, and then he successfully cashes in his briefcase, from the fans' perspective, guess what? Fans are going to say, if this chump lost like 20 and 30 matches before he cashed in his briefcase, and now that he's a world champion, how the hell am I supposed to take him seriously? He's not a legitimate world champion because he's been squashed before. But now that he's the world champion, now he's magically supposed to be like on a winning streak now. Like his luck has changed now that he's become a world champion now. That doesn't make sense. That's how fans are going. That's how fans are going to look at that. And knowing WWE, their business and how they mold this whole thing is that it doesn't matter if you lose 35 to 20 to 50 freaking matches in a row because you're a briefcase holder, and once you cash in your briefcase, you become world champion. Once you become world champion, that losing streak that you had before cashing in your briefcase, it's all null and void now. Whoever has that business mold and that mindset in the company, which I know they do, they need to be fired. Seriously, they really need to be fired because that is a terrible, terrible, terrible booking idea on how to build your superstar from point A to point B. It's a terrible business mold. Absolutely terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I've noticed that Dolph Ziggler is kind of like, he's been kind of getting less time on TV. Now, I get with your 4 main events you have blocked for WrestleMania, some angles, some storylines, some superstars are bound to get a little deep push, a little sidetrack. That's fine. But good God, keep the guy freaking relevant. They did the same thing with Daniel Bryan. When Daniel Bryan was a Money in the Bank holder, we didn't see Daniel Bryan for like 3 months on TV. Even on SmackDown, it's like, okay, I can see it with Raw, but SmackDown, he wasn't even on TV for like 2.5 to 3 freaking months before he cashed in his briefcase. It's pathetic. I don't understand it with WWE. You do not take somebody that your whole gimmick of MITB and have them continuously lose on a freaking losing streak, then cash them in. Once they cash in their chips, they become world champion, and then now they're supposed to be dominant all of a sudden. This is a terrible business mold. WWE have done this with Daniel Bryan. They've done this with Sheamus, and Sheamus hasn't won Money in the Bank, but I'm using the reference of how Sheamus was a former two-time WWE champion. They won. Sheamus was a two-time WWE champion. They de-pushed him. He became U.S. champ. Once he became U.S. champ, he was an afterthought, and then they had to build him right back up again to where he's at now. Del Rio did the same thing. Two-time WWE champion, let him flounder, then they push the restart button and push him back up here. And it's like, this is a terrible mold of WWE and how they build superstars. They push them, de-push them, let them decline, let them flounder, then push them back up on top again. That's terrible. That is terrible. You do not push somebody straight to the top, then de-push them, then push them right back to the top again. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. They've done it with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's back in the mid-card picture. It's just, Dolph Ziggler needs to stay relevant. Dolph Ziggler needs to win. The next 3 weeks, Dolph Ziggler needs more TV time. Dolph Ziggler needs to get hot for when he cashes in his briefcase. That's all I'm going to have to say about that. Last but not least is Ryback. Ryback is WWE's, I guess you could say, their future breakout star, potentially, according to resources within WWE, that and other internet wrestling websites and insiders from WWE, supposedly. Ryback is to replace Cena eventually one day. Okay. I think Ryback needs a mid-card title. This is just me. A U.S. Championship, Intercontinental, something. Ryback still gets a good reaction from the crowd, but ever since October and Hell in a Cell, Ryback has gotten screwed for the last 6 months. And sometimes, in storylines in wrestling, you can have the babyface get screwed, and eventually he overcomes, the difficulties or, the challenges that are against him, and there's a big payoff. However, if you continue to screw over a babyface, when you keep putting him in screw job situations where he's not getting any type of feedback or any type of payoff, after a while, he will start to lose steam. And like I said, Ryback he's still over. He still gets a reaction from the crowd. But Ryback, to me, he's lost a little bit of his steam. Just a little bit, I think. Because, there's no payoff out of all the screw jobs he's been in. Noted, he could get that big payoff at WrestleMania this year once he beats Shield. Or if he beats Mark Henry, if they continue to feud with him and Mark Henry, gets his hands on Mark Henry, and he can do that. That's good. That'll be fine. But there's no better way, besides getting over, say, like a veteran superstar, or getting over, the bad guy that screwed you over multiple times. There's no other better way in the wrestling business for a superstar to get over and to give them that extra little push and that bump up the ladder than giving them a title belt. And right now, I think Ryback is probably the one top mid-card star, in my opinion, that I think needs some gold more than anybody right now. And I think what WWE are trying to do is they're trying to rush him straight up to the top and have him go for the WWE title or world title, whichever it may be. But in my opinion, there are very, very, very few superstars, in my opinion, that I think you can rush straight up to the top to the world title without having to win any mid-card titles. Very few superstars, I think, can succeed with that. Not every superstar I think that you should be able to do that with. One of those superstars I think benefited from that was Brock Lesnar. How they built Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar just shot straight up to the top to the main belt. It worked for Lesnar. Goldberg is another one. Although Goldberg did win the U.S. title before he became world champ, but there wasn't much time before him being U.S. champ to world champ. So in Goldberg's case, it worked. Let's see some other wrestlers. Sheamus. With Sheamus, it worked. The way they had him booked and shot him straight up to the WWE title. His run was awful, but the way he got there was a little bit of a payoff. So very few superstars, do I think they can use that as an excuse to go straight up to the top, and it works. Ryback, in my opinion, is one of the superstars I do not think deserves to go just directly straight up to the world title. He's not one of the superstars. Ryback needs to be billed first. He needs that mid-card title. I know Wade Barrett has the Intercontinental title tonight on Raw. If they don't give it to him, if Barrett retains, let him have a feud with Ryback. Let Ryback get it, because since Barrett has the the IC belt, he's done nothing with it. Antonio Cesaro's had the U.S. title since SummerSlam. He's had the belt for like 8 or 9 months. Ryback has beaten Cesaro like twice. Shouldn't that make him a contender? Put the U.S. title belt around Ryback. So this is just my opinion on this. I think Ryback needs a mid-card title before he gets that big one. Because I think fans probably learn they may appreciate Ryback a little bit more if he goes up through the ranks instead of just going straight to the top and getting that brass ring. He needs to get a mid-card title first. Otherwise, Ryback will be like a lot of other superstars that WWE has done in the past. They give him the main belt, let him run with it for a couple of months. Once he loses it, they digress. Then let him win the mid-card titles, just to put him right back on top again to win the main title back again eventually. When all they had to do was let him win the mid-card title first. Then you build him up to that main title, and you keep him on that course in the main title picture. So you guys give me your thoughts on the 2 topics in the box below. Like I said, I'm going to upload some more videos I recorded from TNA. Subscribe. Peace.